Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some apricot scones and some maple butter to go with it. I'll start by preheating the oven to 425 Fahrenheit, and then I have a pan lined with some parchment paper. And our ingredients are some flour, this is whole wheat flour, and then some extra for some dusting later, some milk of your choosing, and then we have some cubed cold butter, salt, vanilla extract, some lemon juice, and some apricots, some dried apricots. So I have about 10 to 12 pieces that I just chopped up, an egg, baking powder, and then we have some sugar and then some sunflower seeds. So I'll start with the wet ingredients. I have half a cup of oat milk or milk of your choosing. To it I'm just adding some lemon juice and the vanilla extract. I'm just gonna swirl that around and then set it aside. For our dry ingredients, basically we're gonna add all of the dry ingredients and mix it together with a fork to combine. And then I thought of some spices to add last minute, so I decided on some cinnamon and some nutmeg. You can just whisk that in. Now we're gonna add cold butter. It's key so that it creates the fluffy, nice scone texture that we want. And you're just going to mix it in lightly and careful not to melt the butter as you're doing this, and basically get rid of all the clumps until you can kind of bring it together like wet sand, just like this. When it starts to kind of form together in your hand, that's when you can now add the wet ingredients. So just created a well, and I'm going to add in our wet ingredients. And gently fold this in with the apricots. You can also use any other dried fruit of your choosing, like cranberries. And then I'm just adding some sunflower seeds, but you can also choose any other seed you like, just as long as it's not too big. And you're just going to combine this together until it forms into a dough kind of in the bowl, and it's ready to form, and you can turn it out onto your dried floured surface. It looks really crumbly, but be patient with it. Just kind of bring the dough together as best as you can. And if it seems a little dry, which mine was a bit, so I added a tablespoon at a time of more milk. So you'll just work in the milk until it comes together and shape it into a circle or a rectangle depending on what you're going to cut it out with, but I turned mine into a disc and the middle started cracking, so I added a little bit more milk, so another tablespoon. This really helped it to bring it together and form a good consistency for me to cut into slices. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I found that it was just more about the texture, that it came together and you can really feel it. And then I cut it just like a pizza into half and half again into 8 slices. And the thickness was about an inch because they do rise quite a bit. Or about maybe your fingers width. And then I brushed it with an egg wash so that we can get a nice golden crispy crust. And then we'll do this again the last 2 minutes of baking as well. This will go in the oven for 10 minutes first, and then we'll take it out to coat again. And that was at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, I decided to make some maple butter. First time making this as well, so I'm gonna use some butter, about half a stick, maybe more, some syrup, salt, and cinnamon. And then I'm just going to put it in the microwave at 10-second intervals until it comes together. I may add another quarter of a stick of butter, but we'll see. So this is the half a stick of butter, cinnamon, and 3 tablespoons of syrup. Melted it down, did add the extra butter, and just going to set this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Last 2 minutes of baking, I'm just going to do another egg wash on top of the scones so they become nice and golden and also shiny. Then I'm gonna add, this is optional, just a sprinkle of coconut sugar on top to create a nice crunchy crust. And that'll go under the broiler for 2 more minutes. And this is how they turned out. Great. Nice pockets of air from that cold butter. And you can see the apricots throughout as well. And we have that nice sheen golden crust on top from the sugar and egg wash. Overall, this was a pretty easy recipe to follow and fun to make. And the maple butter didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but it tasted great and went really well with these scones. The scones are not too sweet, which is how I like my scones, so the maple butter was perfect with it. And the scones had a really nice texture, chewy and crunchy on top, and the apricots gave it a nice tang. I hope you guys liked the video and give this recipe a try, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon as Thanksgiving is right around the corner.